A very good morning to you and welcome to the news at 7. We sincerely apologize for bringing the news behind schedule. The headlines this morning: Governor Obiano calls for more intervention of World Bank on erosion challenges confronting the state. Wife of the state governor, Chief Mrs. Obiano, commends quality service at holding centers for persons affected by flood. INEC urged to enhance participation of women in politics. On the foreign scene, Indian administration in Kashmir shut down mobile internet service over public protest. And now details of the news. I am Iberi Ugunna. Anambra State has emerged the best performing in the implementation of World Bank assisted projects for 2017 in the Southeast and South-South. This was revealed by the World Bank Country Director for Nigeria, Mr. Rachid Bemuswad, during the opening ceremony of Southeast South-South Program Portfolio Review exercise held in Awka. Government House correspondent Ken Nechukwu-Ofoma filed the report.
Anambra won the position, having disbursed about $13 million in counterpart funding for World Bank assisted projects and having a viable coordination mechanism for smooth implementation of the projects. The two-day program portfolio review had as its participants coordinators of World Bank assisted projects in all the states of Southeast and South-South. Declaring the event open, Governor Willie Obiano said the World Bank, through its robust interventions, has helped the state address the numerous challenges it faces in the area of education, health, agriculture, community and social development, environment, among others. He said, now more than ever, Anambra is in great need of support to enable it tackle the massive erosion challenges it is facing, commending the World Bank for its support already in this light. The governor reiterated his administration's commitment towards meeting its counterpart obligations for the full realization of World Bank-assisted projects in the state.
Your assistance has been very, very germane to the progress that we've achieved so far in Anambra State. Let me take you to one of the major ones that we've been intervening in, which is in the new map area, the erosion area. Like I told you in your office a few months back, Anambra is, our land mass is just 4,844 square kilometers, but we have lost a huge portion of that land to erosion.
The Minister of Finance, Hajia Zainab Ahmed, represented by Mrs. Ozokoye, said in partnership with the bank, the ministry has worked out key parameters with which to evaluate the impact of the World Bank-assisted projects so as to engender a change in the way things were done before. The World Bank Country Director, Nigeria, Mr. Bemuswad, revealed that out of the $1.2 billion earmarked for disbursement across various programs, about $440 million remain undisbursed in the Southeast and South-South, hence the need for the portfolio review exercise. He said among the issues identified to be driving poor implementation of World Bank programs are lack of ownership and awareness on the projects, non-payment of counterpart funding by some states, and absence of peer learning mechanism for information sharing, adding that the review exercise will focus on addressing these issues.
Of the Southeast and South-South. Employee 18 that missed the last year, and you have dispersed over $30 million from the World Bank.
In an overview, a senior operations specialist with the World Bank, Mrs. Ngozi Udolisa, noted that so much funds remain unaccessed due to the poor coordination mechanism of some states and harped on the need for the states to focus more on results to achieve accelerated implementation. In Awka, I am Ken Nechukwu-Ofoma, reporting for ABS News.
And away from that, wife of the governor, Chief Mrs. Deborah Obiano, has called for adequate welfare of pregnant and nursing mothers at the various holding centers for people affected by the recent flood disaster in the state. Mrs. Obiano made the call when she visited some holding centers where the persons affected by flood are currently taking shelter. Correspondent Daniel Ezigwe was in the governor's wife's entourage and found the report taken from our studios.
The governor's wife, who visited the Ogbaru Holding Center at the council's headquarters in Atani and also the Anambra East Holding Centers at Igbaku and Aguleri, was on arrival led round the various units of the center by the transition committee chairmen of the councils to ascertain the general living condition of the people. While commending the organization and upkeep of the centers, Mrs. Obiano implored the managers of the centers to give special attention to the food and medical needs of the affected persons, especially pregnant and nursing mothers. Presenting relief materials to the transition committee chairman, the governor's wife said it was morally obligatory to lend a hand of solidarity to people hit by natural disasters and urged the affected persons to exercise patience and endure the temporary discomfort. Mrs. Obiano had earlier in the Ogbaru Holding Center called for a minute of silence for the repose of the soul of Master Benedict Uzo, a 9-year-old boy in the center who was yesterday drowned around the area.
I decided to make a special case for the expectants and mothers that are breastfeeding, that they should ensure that their meals are ready on time. They should ensure that these women that are expecting, because when you are expecting, you are very hungry. You can even eat a whole house, you know. So I'm pleading that these women should be given concession.
Among the relief materials presented to the affected persons in the holding centers by Mrs. Obiano were mattresses, mosquito nets, packs of toilet tissues, baby diapers, cartons of tin tomatoes, detergents, soaps and beverages.
It was an air of reminiscence and praises for the state government when the former managing director and Anambra State Broadcasting Service came together to assess the progress of the organization and make experienced contributions to the growth and development of the establishment. David Obiano was at the maiden edition of the forum and now reports.
The forum, initiated by the incumbent managing director Nze Uchenwora, has Sir Ikechukwu Abana, who served between 1998 and 2006, Lady Chinwe Nedum, who stepped aside after a meritorious service in May 2012, Sir Oselo Kofo, who served and retired in 2013, Reverend Alphonsus Ginakanwa, who acted as managing director in 2013, Mr. Ben Ekwono, who acted also in 2013, and the current director of news and current affairs, who was acting managing director from the end of 2013 till mid-2014, were all in attendance in this first edition. The former managing directors who were first taking round the new digital facilities of the ABS recounted their experiences through the trying and glorious times of the organization and commended Governor Willie Obiano for his efforts in transforming the face of the organization. Speaking earlier on the motive of the forum, which will be known as ABS Managing Directors Forum, the Chief Executive Officer of ABS, Nze Nwora, said the forum will afford the organization the opportunity of the wise counsels of the veterans. The former managing directors, who also took time to eulogize the incumbent management of the establishment for their good works and especially praised Governor Willie Obiano for his efforts in putting ABS in the global map of media organizations. Certificates of meritorious service and recognitions were later presented to the former MDs by the incumbent Nze Uchenwora, flanked by top management staff of the ABS. In Oka, this is David Obiano reporting for ABS News.
Members of the Organized Labor Anambra State Chapter have called on the federal government to reconvene the committee set up to conclude discussions on the new minimum wage for the workers in the country. The group made a call at the ABS corporate headquarters, Oka, when they paid a visit to the establishment to monitor level of compliance by staff of the station on the warning strike as directed by the national body of the Organized Labor. The group was received by the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the ABS, Nze Uchenwora. Chibuzo Obidike completes the report.
Speaking on behalf of the group, the state chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, Comrade Jerry Nnobia, who applauded the ABS staff for their total compliance, said the move is necessary to drive home their points. Comrade Nnobia appealed to the ABS boss to use the medium to let the public know the reason for the industrial action, which on the request for a new minimum wage, as the take-home of workers is not commensurate to their contribution to the growth of the nation, urging the federal government to do the needful.
As you can see, we are monitoring.
That's right.
The strike, and I think ABS is supportive.
Yes.
And we are our mouthpiece. Help us to spread the message. We are not asking for much.
Yes.
It's only for the working class, Nigerian workers, to be considered in the scheme of things in Nigeria.
Yes.
We are suffering the brunt of all the economic hardship in this country.
Receiving the group, Mr. Nwora commended the group for the organized manner with which they handled the situation and pointed out that dialogue is the best approach to issues for results to be achieved. Mr. Nwora noted that Governor Willie Obiano is workers friendly, given the number of times he has increased workers' salary, noting that the workers are promoted as and when due and are given a bag of rice each and stipend every December.
So all I'm saying is dialogue, peace. That's what we're looking for. We want this to be resolved as soon as possible so that we can all come back to work, serve our public and all that.
The workers chanted songs of solidarity.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
Meanwhile, following the directive of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the other trade unions on Tuesday, directing all affiliated unions and state councils nationwide to commence strikes today, public offices in Awka and its environs were deserted in compliance to the directive. While speaking on what they described as a sudden shutdown of the transport system, some road users, Ishaya Adamu and Donald Onyeneke, lamented that the ongoing nationwide strike has drastically crippled their businesses as the roads appears to be deserted. They called on the federal government to immediately resolve the sad issues with the workers as the increase in product and services across the country are badly affecting them.
I think their demand is very necessary. Very necessary. 18,000 minimum wage. It can't do anything.
When the ABS News crew monitored the popular Ikoka market, it was observed that the workers used the opportunities of the industrial action to embark on emergency shopping, while private offices, banks, schools, private business premises, including filling stations, are yet to comply with the directive. The leadership of the various trade unions in ABS, as early as 7 in the morning, ensured strict enforcement of compliance in the establishment. It will be recalled that the Minister of Labour, Senator Chris Ngige, told journalists after a meeting with Labour leaders that the tripartite committee on national minimum wage would resume negotiation on October 4th. In Awka, Chibuzo Bidiki, ABS News.
We're going for a short break, and when we return, INEC urged to enhance participation of women in politics. And on the foreign scene, Indian administration in Kashmir shut down mobile internet service over public protest. The news returns in a moment. Please stay with us.
Yes, Nigeria Independence Anniversary is here again. Coming Monday, 1st October 2018, Nigeria will be celebrating her 58th Independence Anniversary. Your darling station, Anambra Broadcasting Service, ABS, Heartbeat of the East, has created a special Independence Day package on ABS 88.5 FM and ABS TV Channel 24 to give the Anambra ministries, departments and agencies, corporate organizations, civil society organizations, and other patriotic organizations the opportunity to celebrate and felicitate with His Excellency Chief Willie Obiano, Governor of Anambra State, the Anambra and fellow Nigerians. ABS 58th Independence Anniversary Package cost only 20,000 naira. This package covers Independence Day message on TV, 3 slots. Independence Day message on radio, 3 slots. You may also pay for single Independence Day announcement on TV for 5,000 naira or on radio for 3,000 naira. Please contact KC on 080-33-888-526 to make your bookings. Let us celebrate Nigerians' 58th Independence Anniversary together.
I'm very glad to have you back for the news. The European Center for Electoral Support (ECSS) has urged the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to improve the quality of women engagement and participation in the political process ahead of the 2019 general elections. President Monica Frazzoni made the call yesterday at the workshop on INEC's role in women participation, creating synergy amongst women, politicians, scholars and activists, organized by the European Union EU support to democratic governance in Nigeria and access in partnership with INEC. According to her, Nigeria has done a lot in engaging the women demographic, but noted that there is still need to do more in meeting global agenda on increased participation of women in the political process. Frazzoni stated that the workshop was a timely response to the imperative of ensuring active participation of women in the electoral process, both as candidates and voters. Meanwhile, the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, said that countries with higher level of women participation tend to be more inclusive, responsive, egalitarian, and democratic. The chairman, who was represented by the National Commissioner and Chairman, Outreach and Partnership Committee, Dr. Adekunle Ogumola, noted that women around the world are still largely absent. And now for business news, the federal government has disclosed plans to unveil the first modular refinery in the country in the first week of November. The refinery, owned by Niger Delta Petroleum Resources in Obele Delta State, River State, is expected to refine 10,000 barrels of crude oil daily. The senior special assistant to the president on Niger Delta, Mr. Deborah Obiano, stated this in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State during the opening session of a media workshop on agenda for the Niger Delta New Vision. He said the vision was part of the federal government's 16-point agenda for the development of the region, which was already being carried out in phases. Others include the Ogoni Cleaner Project, gas flaring commercialization policy, and the establishment of the Maritime University in Delta State. The workshop, which is the third in the series, had in attendance journalists and civil society organizations drawn from Abia, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River States. Well, as part of preparation for this year's edition of Celebration, auditions for the Afrobeat dance competition of the festival will hold on tourism at the New Africa Shrine, Ikeja, Lagos. 37 dancers will audition for 8 sports to compete during this year's celebration at a yet-to-be-announced date. The first prize winner gets 250,000 naira, second prize winner gets 150,000 naira, and third prize winner gets 50,000 naira. Judges at the event are award-winning dancer and dance instructor Adedayo Laidi and Shegun Adefila, founder of Crown Troupe. Others are Funke Kuti, Femi Kuti's ex-wife, and a renowned dancer, and Yeni Kuti, Foundation of Collaboration and creator of the Afrobeat dance competition, herself a dancer and dance instructor. This is the second edition of Afrobeat dance competition, which was inaugurated in 2017. It was created to popularize the Afrobeat dance styles created and internationalized by Fela Anikulapo Kuti. Now, the foreign saying the cold-blooded killing of a 26-year-old civilian has sparked fresh protest in Indian-administered Kashmir, with Indian authorities placing certain areas under curfew and shutting down mobile internet service. Salem Malik was killed in the early hours of today, and family members said he was shot dead without any provocation after the Indian soldiers suspected him of being a rebel. Hundreds of people poured onto the streets at several places in downtown Srinagar, calling for the end of Indian rule. They chanted slogans like "Go India, go back," and "We want freedom," as some of the residents barraged police and paramilitary soldiers with stones. Government troops fired tear gas and shotguns pellets to quell the protest, while authorities restricted movement in old quarters of the city. Anti-India sentiment runs deep into the Muslim-majority Kashmir region. The region has witnessed renewed violence after 2016, when a popular rebel commander, Burhan Wani, was killed in a gunfight. The 2-decade-old armed struggle has now been mostly replaced by street protests, generating intermittent tensions in the region. And now for sports news, Providence has made it possible for Nigeria's Amaju Pinnick to have a double celebration on Sunday when the CAF Extraordinary General Assembly holds in Egypt. According to reports on that day, Pinnick will formally be presented as the senior vice president to all the chairmen and secretaries of the 56 affiliates of CAF. Symbolically, the day also marked the 4th anniversary of his accession onto the saddle of football administration in Nigeria after winning the election in Warri. He obtained the renewed mandate that will take him till the 2022 World Cup in Qatar at the NFF Elective Congress in Katsina on September 20th. At the CAF General Assembly, which will hold at the Egypt Hall on Savo Hotel in Sham, El Sheikh, Egypt, there will also be election of an African representative to the FIFA Council for the Anglophone linguistic grouping. This is to fill the position vacated by Ghana's Kwesi Yantaki. And that's it on the news at 7. Remember that you can follow news and programs on ABS from any parts of the world by logging onto our website, www.absradiotv.com. Like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/ABS Radio Television. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at ABS Radio TV. And just before we go, a quick reminder of our top stories. Governor Obiano has called for more intervention of World Bank on erosion challenges confronting the state. Wife of the state governor, Chief Mrs. Obiano, has commended quality service at holding centers for persons affected by flood. INEC has been urged to enhance participation of women in politics. And on the foreign scene, Indian administration in Kashmir has shut down mobile internet service over public protest. And that's the size of our package this morning. Many thanks for joining us. I'm Ebere Ugonna.